Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. My name is Ginger Pierce, and I am a travel agent with Marvelous Mouse Travels. Thank you so much for joining us tonight for the bracket reveal of Marvelous Madness 2025. I am so excited about this year's tournament because we are going to be doing something we have never done before, and that is that we are going to be looking for the best overall ride in Orlando. So, since the two largest, most popular theme park destinations in the Orlando area are Walt Disney World and Universal Orlando Resort, those are the rides that we're going to be pitting against each other. And I'm just really excited to see what all of you think is the ride that is going to come up on top this year. So, to help me reveal the bracket, I've got my better half, my husband, Evan. Evan, say hello to everybody.
Hello, everyone. I'm glad to be here. We're very excited about this. Like Ginger said, we've done Universal specific bracket challenge or bracket, contests before. We've done Disney specific ones. This is the first one where we got both parks represented, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. So let's just jump right into it. Now, just so everybody kind of knows the background, I went through and ranked the rides from 1 through 32 on each side, right?
Yep.
Is that correct? Yeah. So I went through and ranked them according to really my own preference as to what I think is the number one ride in each park. So just know that, the way that I rank things may not be the exact way that you would have ranked things, but I did my best and I did try to take, personal opinion out of it a little bit and look at the overall most, popular rides. But of course, I can't be completely, unimpacted by my own bias or my own personal opinion here. So,
Well, and that's strategic as well,
yeah,
because what that means is what you're going to see tonight. The left side of the bracket, that is going to be all Disney rides ranked 1 through 32 rides at Disney World. The right side of the bracket is going to be all the Universal Orlando rides ranked 1 through 32. Now, we did not include any like water slides and stuff at Volcano Bay. It's just, and that's another thing.
dry parks.
Right now, it's just Universal, Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios. This whole thing could change in 3 months or 2 months when Epic Universe opens. And so what you see tonight is what is currently available to ride at Universal Orlando. That'll be on the right side of the bracket. And Ginger ranked her favorites 1 through 32, what that means is tomorrow and the next day when you all are voting for which ride do you think is better, Ginger will not vote because she's already given her input on how they're ranked. So that's how that's going to work out.
Yes, absolutely. So I guess we'll just start over on the left side of the bracket, Ev. So you want to kind of take it from here? You're better at this part of it than me, for sure.
Alrighty. So the very first ride, the Ginger ranked number 1 at Disney World, the left-hand side of the Disney World side, is Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. No argument for me on that. I think that's a great number 1.
Yeah, that is my overall favorite ride at Walt Disney World, hands down. If you are not familiar with this ride, it is kind of an omnidirectional coaster, I guess is the best way to explain it. So you are indoors, it's a dark coaster. There's a unique soundtrack, like you never know exactly what song it is that you're going to get when you ride this ride each time. I think September is the best one. But there's always just a fun element to this ride, and obviously it's themed after Guardians of the Galaxy. But the theming, in my opinion, is a secondary reason why I like it. I like it because it's just super fun. Like there's
Absolutely.
a backwards launch at the beginning. I love how the carts kind of rotate as you're on the coaster. It's a phenomenal ride.
Maybe the smoothest roller coaster that I've ever ridden. The second, so Guardians of the Galaxy as the 1 seed will go up against the last seed in Disney World, number 32. We might offend some folks here. It's a Small World, ranked number 32. Now I will say this: there were more than 32 rides at Disney World. So Ginger's not saying that it's the worst ride in Disney World. She's just saying it's the 32nd best ride at Disney World.
Yes, and honestly, part of this might be just like my personal bias coming in. Our daughter loves this ride. And so, as you can imagine, we have ridden it a lot. But also, when I'm calling into Disney, like for their TA line, when I'm like waiting online to, apply a promotion or something like that, this song plays heavily in their hold music. And so, you can imagine that I have spent hours of my life listening to this song on repeat. So it's just, it's a slight turn off for me, probably for that reason.
Well, and it's going to play the winner of a Hollywood Studios matchup. The 16th overall seed for Walt Disney World is Star Tours, and it'll be facing the 17th seed Mickey's Runaway Railway.
Yeah, I love both of these rides. Star Tours is a classic. It's obviously the older of the two. And a cool thing about Star Tours is that you do kind of get a different experience each time because the theming is different. So you never know exactly which one you're going to get when you ride it. But I would say that there's a certain element to that as well with Runaway Railway because you like depending on where you sit, your experience with that ride in terms of the scenery around you is a little bit different. So love both of these. Really interested to see how they kind of stack up against each other.
All righty. And as we move on to the number 12 versus 21 seeds in Disney World, Ginger has ranked the Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run as the 12th best ride in all of Disney World, and it will be facing Expedition Everest. So we have our first Animal Kingdom entry into the bracket here as the 21st best ride of Expedition Everest.
Yeah, again, both of these are great rides. Love both of them for different reasons, but they're a completely different experience. So, Millennium Falcon is going to be that ride simulator. If you're chosen as a pilot, you're literally piloting it, and the things that you do directly impact how the ride ends up going for you. Whereas Expedition Everest is, a great roller coaster. It's got awesome views because it is so high up in the park. So that's probably my favorite thing about it is just looking off the sides at the different views that you have. But it does go backwards for a decent amount of time. So if you don't love rides that go backwards, Everest may not be your favorite, but I really like it.
Carrie, welcome. We're glad you're with us. She said she just joined. Do you want us to vote here? That's a great question. Ginger, you want to tell them how we're going to do voting?
So we're going to do voting in my Instagram and Facebook stories. So we will post the first round of matchups tomorrow morning. And that
the
will,
Disney World
yeah,
ones, which
that'll
are
be
now.
The Disney side of the bracket. And then we'll release the Universal side of the bracket on Monday. And then we'll go live with the
Yeah.
results.
Today's Saturday. I thought it was Friday.
Yeah, I know. Well, we've been on spring break this week, so none of us have known what day it was. I've thought it was Sunday all day, even though we didn't go to church for whatever reason. It just felt like Sunday. It's giving Sunday vibes. But yeah, so tomorrow, Sunday, Disney side of the bracket, and then on Monday, Universal side.
Absolutely. She said, awesome. Can't wait to vote. I appreciate that, Carrie. Hope things are going well for you in South Carolina. It's awesome that she's joining us from there. So as we move down this bracket, the 8th overall best ride in all of Disney World, as Ginger ranked it, is Soarin'. So we've got our first Epcot entry into the bracket, and it'll be playing the 25th best ride, Spaceship Earth. An all Epcot matchup.
Guardians is also an Epcot.
Oh, yeah, that's right. My bad.
Yep. Yeah, so this is a really interesting Epcot matchup here because Soarin', if you have not ridden it, is like a hang gliding simulator. It's one of my favorite rides. In fact, pre Guardians of the Galaxy, it was my favorite ride at Epcot. And it has, since been replaced. But Spaceship Earth is in the Epcot ball. I mean, it's pretty iconic. So you've got kind of, I guess, maybe nostalgia up against just legitimately a great ride in this matchup.
Yeah, I think you just hit the word nostalgia. Like that's the thing. That's the only reason why Spaceship Earth's on here. It's iconic because it's inside. It's the main thing in Epcot. But a lot of people love Spaceship Earth. That's for sure. Carrie said things are great over there. I'm glad to hear that. 7th best ride in Disney World, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. Can't argue with that. Man, that's a great one. And we got a all roller coaster matchup here for the 26th best ride. Ginger had Rock and Roller Coaster in Hollywood Studios. One ride that is currently not available to ride, and another one that's about to be gone. Well, kind of.
Yeah, kind of gone. It's getting rethemed after the Muppets. Right now, Rock and Roller Coaster is themed after Aerosmith. And it's getting what to me is a surreal retheme after the Muppets, but I'm sure they're going to make it a ton of fun. It's just one of those things that I was like, oh, okay, we're making it Muppets. Sound good. Let's do it. Big Thunder Mountain, though, is one of my favorite rides in Magic Kingdom. It is closed currently just because they're, renovating a lot of that area for the new Cars Land. But it is, I don't think Big Thunder Mountain is ever going to go away completely because it's just too, again, iconic and nostalgic. Plus, it's really fun.
Absolutely. So the 9 verse 24. So Ginger ranked Kilimanjaro Safaris the 9th best overall ride in Walt Disney World. And it will be facing off against Test Track, which she ranked the 24th best overall ride at Disney World.
And I'm sure that some people will take exception to Test Track not being higher on the list. But honestly, the reason why I didn't rank it higher is because it breaks down a lot. And so, it's really kind of hit or miss as to whether or not you're actually going to be able to ride Test Track on the day that you show up to ride it. Kilimanjaro Safaris, I absolutely love that ride. It is what it sounds like. It's a safari. You get to look at live animals like real lions and real elephants and real giraffes. So you never have the same experience twice because, again, it is
Exactly.
live animals. And so sometimes they're blocking the road and sometimes they're right up close to you and doing something really cool. So I just love that one. I don't think you can overhype that one enough. It is, when you think of what Animal Kingdom should be, to me, it's Kilimanjaro Safaris. I love that ride.
I 100% agree with that. Alrighty, so the 13th best overall ride in all of Walt Disney World is Frozen Ever After. And here's another Epcot matchup going up against number 20, Remy's Ratatouille Adventure.
And again, I'm sure a lot of people would probably take exception with Remy not being higher up on the list. I do love that ride. I think it's a super cute little ride. The queue is awesome. It's really neat ride technology because it's kind of the trackless magnetic ride system, which is the same thing they use for Star Wars Rise of the Resistance. It's great. But I will say that I feel like that ride is a little short and you do tend to wait in line quite a while for it. And for me, Frozen Ever After, it's honestly like I don't want to say nostalgia. It's more of just like a personal love for it because the first time we went to Disney World with our kids, our daughter was super into Frozen. And so just kind of seeing her light up when we rode this ride was awesome. And so I just love it for that. But it's got a special place in my heart. Yeah.
And the on-ride photo that we got was absolutely hilarious.
It was pretty amazing. Our son was 5 and our daughter was not quite yet 2. And both of their eyes were as big around as saucers when we were about to go down this little maybe 10-foot drop. I mean, it's not a big drop at all, but they were both petrified. And it's one of my favorite Disney on-ride photos we've ever taken.
Our son's face was, and our daughter's eyes were, it was hilarious. It was so funny. 4th best ride is ranked by Ginger in Walt Disney World, Tron. There you go. Is that the first Magic Kingdom ride we've had on here so far?
No, Big Thunder Mountain.
Small World. That's right.
Yeah, there's been a couple.
I forgot about those. And then the 29th best overall ride, Space Mountain.
And these two are like right next to each other. They're both in Tomorrowland. They're both coasters. So I think
we didn't plan that.
No, this is just a really good matchup, the way that it happened to fall. For me, and again, this is old. Me being old, I turned 40 this year. Space Mountain hurts my back. Like it just jerks me around a little too much. Whereas Tron is exceptionally smooth. My favorite part of Tron is right at the beginning where you just shoot out super fast. You go like up and around.
Outside,
it's outside and then back inside. So I love Tron. My only gripe with Tron is that it's also a shorter ride. But it's really fun.
Yep.
It's fun being up on the little motorbike thing. Reminds me a little bit of Hagrid's at Universal, which we'll talk about later.
Lauren, good to see you on here. She said, look forward to this every year. We hope you're doing fantastic, coming all the way to us from the New England area. That's what I'm talking about.
Hey, Lauren.
It's good to see you.
Yeah.
A lot of people may, there's 32 rides from Disney World, 32 from Universal. So Ginger ranked Space Mountain 29th in that. A lot of people may be like, how could you do that at Space Mountain? I agree with her. I love roller coasters. I love them. The best part about roller coasters is getting to see like all the stuff around you and big sweeping turns where you can see. You can't see anything. It's Space Mountain. The coolest time to ride Space Mountain is when it's broken and the lights are on and you can see all the stuff and you're like, oh wow, look at all that, so that's why I agree with this. I mean, Space Mountain, the ride queue is awesome. The launch and stuff at the beginning is awesome. Do you know why? Because you can see stuff during that time. When you're on the ride, it's just dark. Like you're like, okay, now I'm going this way. Oh, no, I'm going this way. And like, there's nothing. So I agree with her take on Space Mountain. Lauren said, hey, good. We're glad you're with us, Lauren. All righty. Let's see here. The second best overall ride at Walt Disney World, according to Ginger. Rise of the Resistance in Hollywood Studios. Man, it's hard to argue with that. That's an awesome ride. And it'll be going up against Dumbo. Totally similar rides. But that's just how the rankings fell. It'll be going up against Dumbo in the first round.
Yeah, poor Dumbo. Here's the thing about Rise of the Resistance. Even if you're not a huge Star Wars fan, you're still going to enjoy that ride because there's so many different elements to it. There's like well, first of all, the queue is awesome. There's tons of stuff to look at, but you start off with like a ride simulator and then you go into show elements and then you end up again on another one of those trackless ride vehicles like they have at Remy, and they're just kind of all over the place, and the theming is incredible in there. There's a free fall drop. There's just lots of different elements to it. But if you are a Star Wars fan, I can tell you, you are going to absolutely love this ride because it genuinely does feel like you are stepping onto the set of a Star Wars movie. It is incredibly immersive. And so I have been a huge Star Wars fan since I was a kid. I mean, for most of my life. And so for me, every time I ride that ride, I love it. Even though like I know what's going to happen and I've ridden it several times, it's still one that, I'll splurge on. Yeah, I'll splurge on the Lightning Lane single pass for that ride. Like I love it that much, no matter, how many times I ride it.
It's really, really good. It's almost, yes, it is a ride, but it's almost an experience. Like it is a 15-minute long experience from the first element to when you step off of it. It is a 15-minute long thing. So, I mean, it is fantastic. It's so good. So the 15 versus 18 matchup, we've got the People Mover. Hey-oh, that's one of my favorites. Going up against Peter Pan. So we got a Magic Kingdom battle there.
Yeah, this is a good matchup because People Mover, I love the People Mover. Like it is awesome. It's one of my favorite rides in Magic Kingdom. I love getting to look at the park from so many different angles. It's relaxing. It's a great place to like sit down and just take a load off and get some air, get a nice little breeze on your face. It's great. But it's also really fun. Like I just enjoy the tour that you get to take around Tomorrowland. You get to see the castle from pretty cool angles as well. But Peter Pan, again, is iconic. It's one of the original, rides, and a lot of people love it. The queue in that ride is really pretty incredible. A lot of, the different theming elements that they have in there. So this will be really interesting to see how this one plays out.
So since we're talking about the People Mover, I was going through old photos that I had taken of the parks and stuff, and I happened to come across this one. This is an image that I took from the People Mover while it was moving. Absolutely fantastic one. I love that one. Love it, love it.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about just the cool angles that you get on things like the castle. I mean, you're not gonna see the castle from that angle anywhere else other than on the People Mover.
Got the sunset in the background, just beautiful, just beautiful. Let's see. We had a comment come through. Lauren said, "My son Thomas just said those two are two of his favorites." Absolutely, especially Peter Pan is iconic. You know, people love Peter Pan. All righty. So the 11 verse 22 matchup, Ginger ranked Toy Story Mania, the 11th best overall ride in all of Disney World. It's hard to argue with that. And then going up at number 22, Navi River Journey. So we got a Hollywood Studios versus Animal Kingdom battle there.
Yeah, this is a good matchup too because these rides are really nothing alike, but people love both of them for different reasons. So Toy Story Mania is an interactive game. So like you're playing against the person that's in the car with you. I usually win when I play against Evan, just throwing that out there.
Yeah, that didn't used to be the case, but the last about 5 to 7 times, I've won every time. And then the last 5 to 7, I haven't been able to beat her. I'm always winning. I'm always winning going into the last screen. And the last screen, when it's just like rapid fire, I guess I get tired or something. I don't know, but Ginger pulls ahead and beats me every time. And I'm like, come on.
Yeah. So, there's if you're competitive and you enjoy competitive stuff, which both of us do, we love this ride. But Navi River Journey is just gorgeous. I mean, it's kind of like Small World's grown up, older sister. Like it's a slow, dark boat ride, but the theming is absolutely incredible. And it's got one of the most intricate animatronics in all of the parks. Super realistic and just beautiful. So love that ride too.
All right, so the 6th best overall ride in all of Disney World, as ranked by Ginger, Slinky Dog Dash, going up against number 27, Pirates of the Caribbean.
So Carrie will come for me on that Pirates of the Caribbean ranking. I know she will because that is one of her favorite rides. I think Carrie feels about Pirates kind of the way I do about Frozen Ever After. It's like, the family memories and stuff that are part of it. Just for me, not having the emotional attachment to Pirates, for me, I would rather ride, there you go. Lauren says the same thing, 27 for Pirates. So I would rather ride Small World, than Pirates, or I would rather ride Frozen Ever After than Pirates. But I do love Pirates for what it is, but Slinky Dog Dash is just legitimately fun. Like it is a super fun little family coaster. It's thrilling enough that adults can enjoy it, but it's not going to scare kids either from the most part. So I just love that one. I think it's great.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point about, it's a family coaster. It's not going to scare the kids. Pirates, same thing. Some kids might think, oh, they might get scared. They ride it one time, they're like, oh, they're not going to get scared. So, but both are. Well, one is an iconic Disney ride. One is a soon-to-be iconic, status Disney ride. 5th best ride, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. And then it's going up against 28, Jungle Cruise. So another Magic Kingdom battle there.
Yeah, and Jungle Cruise, again, is another iconic attraction. This one is, I love Jungle Cruise, again, for what it is, but, it's not a super thrilling attraction. Like, it's just a little tour. But if you enjoy dad jokes and dad humor, Jungle Cruise is for you because your skipper, will have tons of little corny jokes
we have a good friend who's a skipper right now.
We do. And then Seven Dwarfs, again, Evan talked about Guardians being really smooth, and Seven Dwarfs is also incredibly smooth. The cars kind of rock subtly back and forth. So it's a great ride. And if you do love, Snow White, the theming is great, but I just enjoy the ride for the actual, ride elements itself.
All righty, the 10th best overall ride, Haunted Mansion, going up against 23rd, Alien Swirling Saucers, which is in the Toy Story Land area of Hollywood Studios.
Yeah, and Aliens is essentially a scrambler, for lack of a better word. And then Haunted Mansion is, of course, that iconic, slightly scary dark ride in Magic Kingdom.
I mean, talk about iconic. Like, is there a more iconic ride than that? That's hard. That's hard to beat as far as icon status goes. 14th best overall ride in Disney World is ranked by Ginger, Tiana's Bayou Adventure. And it will be going up against, here's another Magic Kingdom matchup, the 19th best ride, Buzz Lightyear.
So Buzz Lightyear is similar to Toy Story Mania. There's a, interactive gameplay part.
I've literally never beat Ginger in this one. I only beat her one time, and that's because the ride had stopped for a minute, and she was not yet around a corner, and I was.
Yeah.
And so I could sit there and shoot stuff while she couldn't do anything, and that's the only reason why I beat her. She is like some like sixth sense thing going on with the lasers in there. She just drills me every single time. And one day, maybe it's probably not going to happen. She's going to beat me every single time we go in there.
Probably. But Tiana's Bayou Adventure is the retheme of Splash Mountain. I love it. I love the way that it's been rethemed. The queue in that ride is incredibly detailed. Plus, the ride itself is just fun, and it is a log flume. So I think a lot of people think, oh, you're just going to get absolutely soaked. But, we don't. Like, it's nice sometimes to feel a little bit of the water in your face, but it's not a ride that you step off of and you're like completely soaked, at least not in my experience.
Yeah, I totally agree. You mentioned the face. That's really the only place I got wet when we rode it. The theming is fantastic. They did an incredible job. All right, so the last matchup on the Disney World side of the bracket. There's a couple rides that people are probably like, I hadn't mentioned these yet. Well, here you go. Third best overall ride in Walt Disney World, as ranked by Ginger, Flight of Passage in Animal Kingdom. And maybe some controversy here. I happen to agree with her because I'm not a huge fan of this ride, but Tower of Terror, number 30th best ride in all of Walt Disney World.
And here's the thing. I do not like free falls. Like, even though there is a free fall in Rise of the Resistance, which is my number 2 ride, it's like blink and it's over.
It's 10 feet.
Yeah, it's 10 feet, blink and it's over. Yeah. This is just all it is up and down, up and down, up and down. And I'm not about that. I can appreciate the theming. I love that slightly, creepy Twilight Zone theme. Love that. Love to go into the ride. Love to look at the queue elements. Just don't like free falls. So that's why that one is ranked so low for me. But Flight of Passage is probably my dad's favorite ride at Walt Disney World. He absolutely loves that ride. It's like a kicked up version of Soarin'. I mean, you feel like you are riding on the back of, I don't even remember, a Banshee, I think is what they're called.
Banshee. Yep.
But I mean, it's amazing. It's a multi-sensory ride because there's different smells that they're pumping in and the wind's blowing on your face. It's just incredibly immersive and tons of fun.
So just as a reminder, the left side of the bracket is the Disney World side of the bracket. Ginger will not be voting because essentially her vote was how she ranked them in these orders. And just so everybody knows, her top 10 rides at Walt Disney World, and we'll post this graphic on all the socials and stuff here in just a little bit. But her top 10 rides in all of Walt Disney World: number 1, Guardians of the Galaxy. It's hard to argue with that. Number 2, Rise of the Resistance. Number 3, Flight of Passage. Number 4 was Tron. Number 5, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. Number 6, Slinky Dog Dash. Number 7, Big Thunder Mountain. Number 8 was Soarin'. Number 9, Kilimanjaro Safaris. And number 10 was
Haunted Mansion.
Haunted Mansion. Yep. Yeah. So those were her top 10 at Walt Disney World. Now we're going to move to the Universal Orlando side of the bracket, and this worked out perfectly because there are only 32 rides at Universal Orlando.
Currently.
Yes.
Epic is going to open and change all of that in May, but yeah.
Yes. So this whole side of the bracket will look drastically different in 2 months. But right now there are 32 rides. And let me clarify one thing. Universal Orlando classifies the Hogwarts Express as 2 separate rides. One that leaves from Diagon Alley and one that leaves from Hogsmeade. So
And
that's
that's
how,
fair because the experience of what's happening on the train is different both directions. So it makes sense.
totally agree. So that's how we ranked it too. Also, it helped us out because it gave us 32 rides. But so that's how when you see this show up, that's how they're ranked on this side of the bracket. So I'm going to zoom in to this side of the bracket. That's the dead center. I know that. All right. So Ginger's number one ride in all of Universal, Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure. There's probably a lot of people that agree with that. Some people are thinking, whoa, what about Velocicoaster? Remember, this is Ginger's ranking. Hagrid's number one, going up against number 32, The Simpsons ride.
Yep. If you want to puke, just ride The Simpsons.
So Nate Bargatze, the famous comedian Nate Bargatze, he has a whole bit about how he developed claustrophobia and ride sickness on the Simpsons ride at Universal.
Yeah, it is. It's notorious for, making you struggle with motion sickness. And here's the thing, if Evan were ranking this, I think he would have probably put Velocicoaster as number one. But for me, being again a huge Harry Potter fan, I love Hagrid's. I also am not super fond of rides that go upside down, and Hagrid's doesn't. I mean, it does go straight up in the air and then straight back down. But I just love the theming. I love the fact that you're up on a bike, kind of like you are on Tron. It's just one of my favorite rides. It's my favorite ride there
And
for sure.
Velocicoaster and upside down are very synonymous terms. Yeah, you are out of your seat for like it's either 23 or 32 seconds out of the ride. I can't remember which one. I would have Hagrid's number two though. It's awesome. It's so good. Riding on the actual bike it's amazing. It's so good. So, I mean, that's going to be a cakewalk for Hagrid's in my opinion. The 16th seated ride in Universal is the High in the Sky Dr. Seuss trolley, which I'll be honest with you, I love that ride. I think it's a blast.
I do too.
I love the views of the park. I love like that part that goes out over the water. It's just a fun little ride. So I'm all about that one. And it's going up against 17th seed Spider-Man.
And I love that ride. I love Spider-Man. I think I might be the only person in our family that like enjoys Spider-Man and wants to ride Spider-Man, but I love the queue in that ride. Just all the little as you're walking through the Daily Bugle and stuff like that, just all the little Easter eggs. It's a lot of fun.
All right, and Ginger's 12th best ride in Universal, Transformers. Some people be like, man, that might be kind of low for Transformers. Well, there's some other really good ones is the thing. Going up number 21 against Fast and Furious.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the Fast and the Furious franchise. And I feel like the main draw for that ride is the theming because the ride itself is just really not anything to write home about. So unless you just love the franchise, that one may be one that you don't necessarily care that much for. But I think that Transformers is fun, whether you love Transformers or you don't. It's just a fun ride, really for all ages. And also the character meets that they have right outside that are phenomenal. I mean, I don't know how they make those Transformer suits, but they're pretty spectacular.
And Megatron is hilarious. Like he is hilarious. Let's see. All right. The 8th best ride in Universal Orlando, Flight of the Hippogriff, going up against 25th best ride, Dr. Doom's Fearfall.
And again, I mean, Dr. Doom's Fearfall is up and down. It's free fall, so it's not going to be high on my list. Flight of the Hippogriffs, again, this might be a little bit of just bias on my part and also maybe some nostalgia, but our son loves that ride. The first time we ever took him to Universal, I feel like we rode it 12 times. Like he just wanted to get off and get right back on. So that one, plus there are really beautiful views from that ride because
Yes.
it is high up on the hill right next to Hogwarts Castle. So you can just see everything and you really do kind of feel like you're flying.
So two things there. First of all, shout out to Unlimited Express Pass because we got to ride it so many times because of that.
Yeah, because we were staying at Royal Pacific and it was included in the price of our hotel, which is a massive perk of those properties.
And I 100% agree about the view. The view from the top of that ride may be the best in all of the park. No exaggeration. It is incredible. The seventh best ride at Universal Orlando, Escape from Gringotts. Fun ride right there. Fun ride. And it is going up against number 26, Cat in the Hat. I'll be honest with you. I love that ride too.
Yeah, I like both of these. Yeah. Escape from Gringotts, again, if you love Harry Potter, this one you have to do it. It is the only ride in Diagon Alley other than the Hogwarts Express, which is technically outside of Diagon Alley in London. But I will say that Escape from Gringotts, like it's a good intro to coasters for kids because yes, there's like a 30-foot drop at the very beginning, but from then on out, it's mostly a lot slower and a lot more level. And so it's a good way to, you can kind of just tell your child like, hey, there's going to be this drop at the beginning, but after that, it's really not that bad. Plus the queue in that ride, I mean, you are inside Gringotts and it looks exactly like it does in the movies.
The theming is amazing.
It is. It's really kind of breathtaking, honestly. And Cat in the Hat is super fun, but it's just not on the same level of Escape from Gringotts.
I like it. It's great. So number 9, a new one in there in the chat here. Troller Coaster coming in at number 9, going up against 24th best ride, Men in Black. And some folks might take exception to that you rank Men in Black 24th out of 32, but I actually kind of agree with you on that one.
Yeah, I mean, Men in Black is kind of like Toy Story Mania in that there is that kind of, competitive element to it. But I don't know. For me, that's an older franchise. It's not one that I'm particularly attached to. So I would much rather, ride Troller Coaster and be in the Trolls area and everything. And I definitely know our kids would, because our kids, they're 11 and 9 or 12 and 9. They don't know what Men in Black is. They've never seen those movies. So it goes right over their head, but they know all about the Trolls.
My favorite thing about Men in Black?
What's that?
It's next door to that Coke Freestyle place
where
you can get the ices.
Yeah, that's true.
The ices are my favorite thing about riding Men in Black. Let's see. 13th best ride at Universal, Mummy, going up against E.T. Adventure. Now, here's the thing. I don't want to give away how I'm going to vote or anything because I do get to vote because I didn't rank these. But I can tell you right now, I may or may not be voting for E.T. Adventure on this one because that's like you talk about like Peter Pan icon status at Disney World, E.T. Adventure icon status at Universal Orlando.
Plus, Evan does not care too much for the Mummy movie franchise.
Correct. Correct.
Could be
13 years old.
Slightly.
Yeah, 13 years old, I think, when that one first came out. And I remember walking out of it thinking, that was the dumbest movie I've ever seen in my life. So not a huge fan of that movie franchise. Love E.T. though. We'll phone home all day long. So I will gladly ride that one. And it's right next to Troller Coaster. So you just go over there and live it up, man. Go meet Shrek after it too. And Donkey. Donkey's hilarious. Let's see. The 4th best ride. Now we're talking right here. This is my cup of tea. The Hulk, going up against Ripsaw Falls. Give me that Hulk all day long.
Yep. Hulk is, obviously one of the headliner coasters in Islands of Adventure. So right there in the Marvel area, probably the first coaster that you come to when you're entering, at least through the main entrance to Islands of Adventure. So, I mean, definitely a lot of people's favorite, whether you're a Marvel fan or not. You know, there's a lot to appreciate about the Hulk. Not necessarily my favorite or at the top of my list, again, because of the upside down thing, but I definitely think it's a great ride and can appreciate it for what it is.
Yeah, I'm all about the Hulk. I love that ride, especially the first half before you go around on the back side of it. That first half is amazing. I love that. And I just thought I might have a video, but I don't. But I did have this. I should have showed that when we showed the Haunted Mansion. That's a cool photo I got of the Haunted Mansion. So the second best overall ride at Universal Orlando, as ranked by Ginger, Velocicoaster, going up against Twirl and Hurl in the Simpsons area.
Which is essentially Dumbo, just themed after
Yep.
The Simpsons. So R.I.P.
Velocicoaster might make some people hurl.
It might,
Yeah.
but for totally, although I will say we laugh about this all the time. You know, Evan is a huge roller coaster guy. He'll ride Velocicoaster. He'll ride any coaster in any park, but you put him on anything like Twirl and Hurl or the teacups or something like that, and he
Yeah, I can't do the
cannot
teacups.
handle it. We were eating at Garden Grill, which is literally like it's in the land pavilion at Epcot, and it rotates like maybe 1 mile an hour. And about halfway through our meal, Evan was like, I'm not doing so well. Like he was about to get sick, but he can go upside down all day long and it doesn't bother him.
Yeah. Like the Hulk, Hollywood Red Rocket, Velocicoaster. I love Velocicoaster. Hagrid's. I love all those rides. They're amazing. Don't bother me at all. You put me in the Garden Grill and that constant motion out of the corner of my peripheral vision, man, it got to me. Like I was I was struggling after about 30 minutes. I was like, we might have to leave. But I absolutely love roller coasters. So sign me up for Velocicoaster on this one all day long. I think Ginger nailed the top two rides at Universal Orlando for sure. All right, so the 15th best ride, Jurassic Park, going up against Pteranodon Flyers. I love Pteranodon Flyers. It's so much fun.
I totally agree. I love that one. Our daughter loves that one. Our son hates it.
Yeah.
Cannot handle it. But I mean, that's another one where like you feel like you're hang gliding. Well, you are kind of hang gliding.
Yeah.
You know, it's just on a track, of course, but it is so much fun. Jurassic Park River Adventure, you're going to get soaked. I mean, they even have dryers outside the ride. So I have to be in like a special mood to want to get soaked in the middle of a theme park and walk around wet for the rest of the day. I mean, in the heat of July, yep, it feels great, but it's not necessarily something I'm going to want to do like all the time. But it is a good ride.
I love Pteranodon Flyers. It's just it's just like swinging and free flowing and flying through the air. And that's the reason our son hates it. Like he feels like, I guess, insecure, riding it. Like he's not strapped in well, which you are, but, and so like our daughter, there was one time Ginger and our son went first and me and our daughter went second. And so they're in the little thing in front of us and our daughter is going, wee, wee, like this. And our son, you can hear him going, ah, ah. It was hilarious.
And
I love that ride.
That's their personalities pretty much.
Yeah. Yep. I love that ride. It's so much fun. All right. The 11th best overall ride, Minion Mayhem. Oh, some people might think that might be a little low. I think it's pretty strong when you look at the rest of what she's got. And then Kong for number 22. A lot of people love Kong. A lot of people love Minion Mayhem. Both really good rides. One in Universal Studios, one in Islands of Adventure.
Yeah, and Minion Mayhem is, I mean, obviously it's themed after Despicable Me, so it's going to appeal to a younger crowd. For young kids, Kong can be a little bit scary, just the thematic elements of it. So, you know, and it also is a ride simulator, which I know some people that does aggravate motion sickness and things like that. But Minion Mayhem, for me, was tons of fun. I love that ride. I love the dance party after that ride too. That's a lot of fun.
All righty. Number 6 overall ride, we've got Hogwarts Express from Hogsmeade. So when you leave from Hogsmeade in that one, and then going up against a classic from the Seuss land, One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish.
Both of these are great fun. All ages can ride these. Hogwarts Express is just hard to beat, though. It is so well
Agreed.
themed. If you love Harry Potter, you feel like you're stepping into it. So it's hard
It's
to,
fantastic.
yeah, it's hard to beat that one.
It is fantastic. Alrighty. And then the number 5 overall ride, Hogwarts Express from Diagon Alley, going up against, or I guess we should say King's Cross Station, but everybody knows what we mean. Going up against the Carousel in the Seuss Landing area of Islands of Adventure.
And the reason why I ranked Hogwarts Express leaving from London or King's Cross over Hogwarts Express from Hogsmeade is just because that's the order it is in the books. Like they start off at King's Cross and then make their way. So it just feels like the more authentic Harry Potter experience to me. But I love them both. And there's, lots of cool elements to doing it both ways. Definitely should ride the Hogwarts Express both directions when you're there. But one thing that you got to make sure is that you have a park to park ticket, because if you have a base ticket, you won't be able to ride the Hogwarts Express at all because it goes between the two parks. So you have to have that park to park element. So make sure you don't miss out on that.
One strong reason to use a travel agent, so that you find out information like that. It's totally free to use, Ginger, by the way. Let's see here. Number 10, a relatively new ride, VillainCon, going up against Jimmy Fallon.
Jimmy Fallon, I love the theming of that ride, but it really messes with my motion sickness. So that's why that one is further down on the list for me. The queue for VillainCon is the main reason to ride that ride. The actual ride itself is not super exciting, but the queue is worth it. It's worth standing in line and looking at all of that stuff. It's just very well done.
So many little details in the queue. It is well worth it just to go through the queue. All righty, especially if you're a fan of the Minions, series of movies. All right, and the last two, 14th overall, Forbidden Journey, which is inside Hogwarts Castle, going up against the Stormforce Accelerator, also in Islands of Adventure, over by the Hulk.
And again, talk about a ride queue being worth it. Forbidden Journey's ride queue is a tour through Hogwarts. So
it's the best ride queue in all of Universal.
I 100% agree. In fact, there have been times when Evan and I have just waited in line just to go through the ride queue and then hopped off before we actually got on the ride, because this is another ride that if you struggle with motion sickness, which sometimes I do, you can have a little bit of a problem with this one, because you're just moving around a lot. You're supposed to be riding on a broomstick, so of course it's twisting you around and moving you and things like that. But totally worth it to walk through and see that queue, because it is just so well done, and I love that one for that reason.
Absolutely. And if you're not familiar with Stormforce Accelerator, it's essentially Alien Swirling Saucers equivalent from Disney World. Same concept there. And the last matchup on the Universal Orlando side, the third best overall ride, Hollywood Rip Ride Rockit, and we encourage you to ride it soon, because I believe it's October. That ride will no longer exist. So live it up now with it, and it's going up against the Popeye's Bilge Rat Barges, another water type ride. What do you think about that one, Jen?
I mean, Rip Ride Rockit, if you're a fan of coasters, that one's really great, because a lot like Guardians, it's a different song. Of course, with Rip Ride Rockit, you get to pick your song. So you have, control over kind of the soundtrack. But my favorite part of Rip Ride Rockit is where it comes out into the New York street area and then goes back in. So It's a great ride, but like Evan said, enjoy it while you can, because it's not going to be around for too much longer, which is sad.
Yep, it is sad. It's an awesome ride, just a fantastic ride. So, as we zoom back out to look at the whole bracket here, I'll let everybody know what Ginger's top 10 rides at Universal were. Number 1 was Hagrid's. Number 2 was Velocicoaster. Number 3, Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket. Number 4, the Hulk. Number 5, Hogwarts Express leaving from King's Cross Station. Number 6, Hogwarts Express leaving from Hogsmeade. Number 7, Escape from Gringotts. Number 8 was, well, can't find it. Oh, Flight of the Hippogriff. Yep, yeah. That's right. Number 9 was Troller Coaster. And number 10 was Villain Con. So those are her top 10 rides at Universal. So the left side of the bracket, it will be, and we'll post this here in just a minute. The left side of this bracket is the Disney World side. That is what everyone will vote on tomorrow. The right side of the bracket, those 16 matchups, are the Universal Orlando side, and those matchups will be voted on Monday. Ginger, can you remind everybody where they will vote?
Yes, you will vote in my Facebook or Instagram stories. On Facebook, I'm at Ginger MMT. On Instagram, I'm at Ginger_MMT. And I will be posting those in the morning of both days so that you'll be able to go on, anytime throughout that day and cast your votes. And then we will be going live for the next time on Tuesday night, and probably again at 8:00 p.m. To give you the results of the first round. And then we'll go from there about announcing what times and where we'll be voting for the next round. But for this first round, it's going to be in my Facebook and Instagram stories on Sunday and Monday. And then we'll let you know the results on Tuesday night.
Absolutely. Brittany said, so fun. Brittany, good to see you on here. Glad you're with us. Hope things are going well out in Oklahoma. And Andrew right here in Tennessee with us. Glad you're with us. He said, so ready for this. I think I get more excited for this than the actual March Madness. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, Andrew. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. And like Ginger said, this is the first time ever we've done a bracket that has both Walt Disney World and Universal Orlando rides in the same bracket. So
yeah,
very excited about that.
Absolutely. Because that's a question I get all the time. Like, which one do you think is better? Which one should our family visit? And we're going to kind of let the people tell you for this one, which rides at least they think are better at which destination.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for watching with us tonight. We really appreciate it. It's always the most fun for us when people get excited about it and want to be involved and participate. So love you watching the live streams, love your comments, love when you vote and interact with us in stories as well. So thank you so much for that. It's just always a really fun part of this community this time of year. But we will be posting in stories tomorrow and Monday. We'll see you again live on Tuesday night. And again, thanks everybody so much for watching. Have a great night.